and the gang with special guest Living Color. Love it. The tickets are not on sale until tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Everybody will be able to get their grubby little mitts on them, livenation.com. You'll get the last pair from me here before everybody else grabs them. Saturday, February the 3rd is the show out at MGM Northfield Park. Extreme and Living Color. Car 10, these are yours. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
If he sounds super excited to see you,
Hey, what's up?
remember, he is a paid performer.
As a broadcaster, he's real good.
Alan Cox on 100.7 Double.
Rated artist. Vernon Reed is a phenomenal guitar player. Will Calhoun behind the drums is awesome. Corey Glover, who is Danny Glover's nephew, kind of had an acting thing for a while. You'd see him pop up in things. He was in Platoon, but he was mostly devoting most of his time to Living Color. And so I'm so excited those guys are coming back. And yes, that is a show I will go for the opening act. Extreme, cool. Maybe I'll stay for a couple of songs, but I haven't seen Living Color in 20 years. And for a while, they weren't doing anything. So I don't know when they decided to reform and go back out on the road and do their thing. But I know Corey Glover was fronting another band for a while. He was doing something with the drummer from a band called God Forbid, which was another black metal band. Not a black metal band, a black-fronted metal band. So Extreme and Living Color, those will go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. LiveNation.com. Guardians are off tonight. They ended up, the Giants rallied late in yesterday's game out there in San Francisco. So they went down 6-5 against the Giants. They'll start up here at home for the weekend against the Texas Rangers. Max Scherzer, though, out for the remainder of the season. I don't know who the backup dude is there. But that'll be tomorrow night, 7:10, here on The Buzzard. We'll do our metal show, speaking of metal, black and industrial and gothic and everything in between. Our show is called 2 Hours to Midnight. It's going to be Saturday, 10 o'clock, me, Corey Roddick, Pat Butler, and it's 2 full hours of nothing but metal.
When I was in Cincinnati, I was listening to WBEBN.
EBN, yes.
And driving around on a Saturday morning. And whose voice do I hear?
Stansbury.
Corey.
Oh, yeah.
Roddick.
Corey Roddick.
And I text him, I'm like, oh, you track for EBN? He's like, I sure do. I'm like, I love it.
Yep.
It's cool to hear his voice on other stations.
WEBN.
As long as it's also on this one.
Right.
I did not like when he wasn't on this one.
WEBN is a classic station in Cincinnati.
I will say, it's a good station, but we got him on the branding. They got some weird frog.
They got a frog. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's our buzzard. That eagle kills the frog.
You're right. The eagle. Yeah, but EBN, I mean, they've been in the air a long time down there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they're the flagship for the Bengals, and this guy, Kid Chris, is, I think, still doing mornings there. He was a guy that...
he just added a co-host. They're doing a whole thing where he's got like Sarah Elise is his new female co-host.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was a dude who could not keep a job for a long time because he was kind of still trying to do the shock jock thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing was not good. But I think he finally found a home at EBN. He's been there for quite a while.
He's been there a while. Yeah.
And he's a very creative dude. He's a very talented guy. But I think he might have finally figured it out when EBN picked him up.
And for people that keep asking me if I went to Jungle Gyms, I forgot. I completely forgot. Totally. I was down there. We were hanging out with my buddy Joe Briggs, and we did a lot of stuff. We just didn't make it to Jungle Gyms.
Yeah.
Just completely forgot.
Our old boss, by the way, was running EBN for a while. Bo Matthews was the PD down there at EBN about 10 years ago.
Made sure not to bring that up.
What's that? Be sure not to bring that up?
I said I was sure not to bring that up.
Is that a sore spot?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Just busting Bo's balls.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, he's still in the business. He's running some other stations.
We chat from time to time.
Yeah. Well, apparently, happy hour is not a thing anymore because people are like, I'm at work.
Depressed?
I'm at work all day long. I don't need to hang out with the people I work with. Like happy hour used to be a thing. People were wanted to let off some steam at the end of the week or whatever, and they'd go out and have some drinks. But I was reading a thing in the Wall Street Journal this morning about how doing stuff after work, post-pandemic, a lot of people just aren't into it. They're like, I developed a lot of new habits over the pandemic. I stopped doing a lot of things. People are like, I'm going to go home. So like if you're in the sales business, you're still probably doing like client dinners and things like that. But most people working in an office, they're like, we're not doing coworker happy hours. We're not doing dumb team building events.
Yeah, that doesn't.
People want to
exist
work
me.
and they want to go home.
Yep.
Well, and every time they try and do one here, it's when we're on the air, so we're not going to be there anyway. They're like, hey, we're having a office happy hour
From 4 to 6.
4 to 6. And then they'll be like, Alan and Bill, why didn't you guys come?
Like, tell us you don't want
Well,
us to be
again-
there.
Yeah.
Tell us you don't want us to be
No,
there.
it's not that. Listen, they've got to do it at some time, right? That's a normal time to do something like that. It just so happens we're on the air.
We're on the air, yeah.
They've actually said to me before, they go, well, why don't you just do a best of? And I go, because you're not paying me. You're paying me to do a show, not come hang out and drink. Sometimes I am paid to go hang out and drink, but that's not with coworkers. People say the 20th happy hour is not going to produce anything better for me.
And I think people have a lot of other activities now because I feel like this is a time where there's a lot of softball or volleyball or dodgeball or trivia. People have their own things with their own friends where it's not necessarily tied to work and also not always tied to drinking.
Right.
And
Yeah.
also, it's expensive. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's why they have the deals.
But I'm saying some companies will like, oh, well, we have like this station. If we have a bar crawl, a lot of times in years past, we've had a tab.
Yeah, that we run out of after the first 20
I'm
minutes. They're like, oh, tab's closed. You guys got too many drinks.
If I'm at a company event, I'm not drinking on my dime. Absolutely not. And that would go for like after hours too. Like the very few times, like if I've had my morning job, if we don't have the show or something and they have a happy hour, I can almost guarantee that people know me from this show there. And they're like, we know you're not going to buy a drink, so we'll buy you a drink. We're just happy to have you here. I'm like, yeah, you do know me because I came here to get free drinks and I'm going home.
Is there any movement that you can make in that company to make more money?
What do you mean?
Could you ever like get a promotion or
the morning
anything
job?
like that?
I mean, I have had movement, but
Okay,
I'm
I wasn't sure.
Well, I'm also at like a deadlock because I can only work
A certain amount of time.
a certain amount of hours. So how much are you going
Can't
to
you
move up?
Can't you get up at like work full time, 5 a.m. to 2?
Yeah, because people are really going to answer the phone at 5 a.m.
Call the other time zones. Find jobs for people in England.
Bill, just get out of my face.
Get out of your face.
Yeah, get out of my face. You get on my nerves.
What do you think about that?
I wasn't in his face. Just asking him some very simple
Get
questions.
on my
Yeah.
face right now. Get off
You
my
know what they
screen.
say, the early bird catches the worm.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten worms very early in the morning.
Well, but he's not, he's not trying to make a career out of that either.
Right. But he's also made it clear that we don't have to go down this road again.
Yeah, thanks.
No, let's go down the road. What road? The holiday road?
Well, he's not really trying to make a career out of anything, it seems like.
Well, I don't know what he's doing.
Nope, I don't know either. I'm
See?
just coasting.
He's coasting. He's got to
coasting.
figure it out.
Sailing. Christopher Cross.
I believe you'll figure it out.
Oh, we're holiday road.
I think so too. That's why I'm not sweating it.
Now, the Ouija board said that you will die in 4 years.
So what's the point?
Do you see? Some people would say, "I've really got to buckle down,
Yeah.
and I really want to make the most. I want to squeeze the juice out of life." He goes, "What's the point?"
What would be the point? I mean, if that's the case, I would.
He's very nihilistic
I'd be
in
doing
his
very-
outlook on life.
I
What-
would have a lot of lawlessness.
But there must be something in your mind where you go, boy, that would really put some steam in my stride. That's something that's
But-
worth my time, my effort, rather than like, what's the point? Because really, what's the point of anything? We're all just killing time.
Right.
Oh, I know.
But,
I like creating things. So
Yes.
Being on this show, very satisfying.
Yeah.
The podcast I do, very satisfying. Stand up, very satisfying.
What's the podcast?
The Bill Squire Show, nominated for Cleveland Students Best.
Oh,
Hopefully
hey.
we win. We'll find out next week.
Yeah, we'll
this
find out
weekend, next time.
one week from today.
1 week from today, we'll know all the winners and if Poundcake is Cleveland's sports talk.
Best sports talker in Cleveland Scene Magazine. Because, listen, it's nice to have a wide array of nominations for this program. We really
That's the
want him
one.
to win.
Yeah, that
that
was
is the
the one.
primary one that we want. All of the other, whatever wins we get next week, if any,
They'll be meaningless if he doesn't win.
they will pale in comparison to him
Right.
missing out on Cleveland's best sports talker. But what would put a fire up your ass? Or fire under your ass. Sorry, I believe the phrase is fire under your ass.
It's all kind of a preview for the game.
It
we're
really
gonna
is.
play.
I'm screwing up here. We're going to be quizzing Poundcake on a few things in a bit, and I'm jamming it up here. Can you envision anything that would really put a fire under your ass? You go, yes, that right there. That's what I'm going to go after, and I'm going to attack it with everything I have in.
Because you're incredibly talented.
I think so too.
I think that you're very talented. I feel like, get discouraged. Not discouraged, but you have a lot on your plate that keeps you from pursuing things the way you want.
You have a lot of, I've said from the jump, you have a lot of raw materials. A lot of raw materials that a lot of people don't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
The raw authenticality, as it were.
yeah, no, I enjoy what I do, but I also live in the world where it takes money to do certain things. I have to live and provide for myself, and I have other obligations as well. I mean, if I got a job that, and it doesn't even have to be like a contract, but if I had a job with benefits, that would take something off of my plate to where I can focus even just a little bit more on my craft, because craft doesn't mean anything if you don't have time to hone it. I'm working several different jobs to pay bills, and then trying to stash a little bit away so I can have a little bit of cushion, so I don't I feel like I'm burning the candle.
I understand.
I'm saying I'm burning the candle at both ends. So there is a means to an end, but I'm not at that point right now. And everyone will say, "Oh, well, you're never going to be at that point." Well, there will come a point where I will have to be. Just like I came to a point where, I couldn't live with a roommate anymore. You get an apartment by yourself, and I'm working on that. I'm trying to establish my little independence. I don't know when that will come, but step by step. I don't know.
Day by day.
And that's an honest question. Or that's my honest answer. I don't know when it will come.
What if it never comes?
Well, then it was never meant to be.
What if you look back on a life wasted?
Well, I won't. I will be dead. I'm a firm believer
Well, no, I mean, but people usually cast their mind back before they die.
Well, I'm going to do the best work I can while I'm here and try to do a lot of my job.
And when are you going to start that?
Most of my job well. Most of my job well.
Listen, that's all we can ask,
Yeah.
to do most of your job well. And what percentage is that? What do you consider most?
A C is 75.
A C!
A C
Wow.
is 75%.
All right. So a C.
A D is failing, so I don't want to do a 60% job. I want to do a 75% job.
Yeah, but a C is like average. That's just good. You said you want to do most of your job well. That implies that I thought maybe you were going to be like 95%. You're like, C's are fine.
C's get degrees.
Right. You know, you're not matriculating now, right? We're not handing out.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
You're not
that
trying to get degrees. You're trying to get paid.
already in this business, you have to be at a certain you had to stand out from all the rest. So now that you've done that, you're on another level. So being a C amongst a lot of A's, I actually do stand out.
What?
If everyone else is great and me being mediocre,
Wait,
I
so
stand
wait.
out.
But everyone else, he's reverse engineered this.
I will stand out by being less good.
But you
than the
won't stand
competition.
out. I mean, you'll stand out in a not good way. And by the way, most people in this business are not A's. You could really stand out by being an A. This business is
And like we tell you, you have the raw materials to do it.
This business is replete with C's. It would not be hard to separate yourself from them. You know what? I'm going to do less than everybody else. That'll really make me stand out.
That's how I'm going to stand out.
I like the way you think, though. I like the way that brain
I mean,
works.
it is original.
All right, we are going to play a little game with Poundcake when we come back. He doesn't know what it is. We'll tell you, though, when we return. 35192. Want to send a text for anything? AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch, and we'll be back.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.